We've got a question from Chris, who's sitting right next to you here in London. I'd love to listen to the podcast on my journeys to and from work. Are there any you can recommend?
Well, actually, Chris, funny you should ask. There's one I'd love to listen to that's called Ask Karen.
So I got to the sandwich ball, saw the shop, turned left and went in the shop next door.
You never!
Honestly did. And I was going to Specsavers. Literally should have gone to Specsavers.
It's funny, informative, and they not only help people with issues, dilemmas and problems, but they also venture into some great conversations on a variety of topics.
Wow, that sounds like a really fun podcast. By accident, I put my shower curtain on back to front.
What do you mean you put it on?
I didn't put it.
What's the right way round to wear it?
I didn't wear it.
Were you like playing Superman or something?
Yeah, I was dressing up. I'm guessing I can find it just by searching Ask Karen on any good podcast app.
Yes, that's right, Chris.
I believe they also have a website too that has all the info anyone might need, which is askkaren.co.uk.
It's a lovely looking website too.
That's great. Thanks, Karen. So join me and Karen on our potentially award-winning podcast, Ask Karen. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Pete and Fran podcast. How are you, dear?
I'm alright, and you?
Yeah, I'm very well. Have you had a good week?
I have, very busy.
What kind of thing you been up to?
I went on a barge, a booze barge.
Yeah?
It was very good.
A barge full of booze.
Yep.
Like some sort of Egyptian princess.
Yes, but I was not the princess. There were many of us.
Many princesses.
Yeah, not
right.
just one.
No. Well, anyway, we've got a fun-packed show today.
We
All
have.
sorts of things to talk about. We're going to talk about Disney's live-action Aladdin remake.
Yes.
We're going to talk about Rocketman. But
We are.
first and foremost, we are going to get the time phone out and have a little chat with someone that we've had on the show before.
Oh.
Because we're going to be talking to George Lucas, because on Today in History, Star Wars A New Hope was released in 1977.
We seem to be speaking to him a lot.
This is only the second time, and the first time I spoke to George Lucas, that was in the present day. Now I'm going to phone back through time and speak to George Lucas in 1977.
Okay. This is not the George Lucas you tried to kill, is it?
No, we're not supposed to talk about what may or may not have happened at Skywalker Ranch.
Okay.
Okay.
Right, so.
So yeah, on the 25th of May in 1977, Star Wars: A New Hope was released. It was a massive box office success, and it won 7 Oscars. So as I said, we've had George on before and spoke to him about Star Wars in general, but we're going to ring him in the past and see how he was feeling in 1977 when Star Wars was released.
A New Hope, which one is that in the old...
It's episode 4. The
So
very
is that
first Star Wars film.
Is that the ones with Harrison Ford in?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you now.
One day I'm going to get you to remember which film is which.
Yeah.
Because it enrages me.
All I know is that the Harrison Ford ones were made first, but they're the last 3.
No. The last 3 are the ones that have just come out.
No, but in the 6 ones I originally bought on DVD,
Yes.
they were the last 3 made.
Yes.
No, the first 3 made, but they were the last 3.
Anyway, let's fire up the time phone and talk to George. Hello?
Yes, hello?
Is that George Lucas?
Yeah, yes. Who's this? Who's calling here? What can I do for you?
Well, we're calling from the future, George. You're a massive box office success and a dearly beloved figure by many in the future. So we'd like to speak to you now in the 70s and find out how you feel after the massive success that A New Hope has been.
Well, that sounds very interesting. And yeah, sure, I can answer any questions you might have for me.
Well, my wife's going to ask you some questions, George.
Sure, fire away.
Hi, George.
Hi, how are you?
I am Fran.
Nice to speak to you about things.
Okay, so would you mind answering a few questions?
I can answer as many as you want.
Okay, so the first question is, George, congratulations on the success of Star Wars.
Oh, Well, that's not really a question. Thank you very much. That isn't a question, but I feel like I can answer your statement. Thank you very much. Star Wars has been a great success, and I am a great and visionary director. And I have lots of great ideas.
Oh, so does that mean you'll be making more Star Wars films?
Maybe. I liked Star Wars. I did not enjoy shooting it. I enjoyed the bit at the end in the editing process, where everyone fixed the massive mess I'd made of the film. But I have lots of other great movie ideas that I jot down on a bit of paper I keep in my pocket. It's just today I've written a film about a horse that can play tennis, a film where a man throws his coffee at a wall, a documentary about mice, and a film where a man drives a train into a volcano. If I do make more Star Wars films, I'd like to be a bit more hands-off so I don't have to do any work or get off my chair. So I'll probably get better directors to do it, and then at the end I'll just take all the credit for it.
That's probably a good idea.
Well, yeah, I'm quite a smart guy. If I ever do direct more Star Wars films, I'll try and do it all indoors. Well, with just like 2 cameras, and I'll just superimpose all the space backgrounds on the back. And it will look great forever, completely stand the test of time, and the fans will adore it. Why are you laughing at me?
You just sound like someone from the Muppet Christmas Carol.
I don't think that's a very respectful thing to say to me. I am an Oscar-winning director.
Yeah, but everyone likes the Muppet Christmas Carol.
Oh, who doesn't love the Muppets? I'll probably help out and make a few Muppet movies myself.
Okay. Only a couple more questions. Who is your favourite Star Wars character?
I like Darth Vader. He's very easy to direct because you can't see his face. So I don't have to give him any instructions about how to move around. I can just shoot my camera at him and he'll walk around the spaceship, throwing himself around, picking people up by the neck. I love Darth Vader so much that I get the feeling a lot of people want to know more about him and his backstory in great detail. I think maybe it'd be fun if it turns out that when he takes his helmet off, he's actually that clown from Stephen King's movie It. If not, I might wait like 20 years and make 3 really terrible movies about him as a child.
Okay. I like Darth Vader too, actually.
Who doesn't? Everyone likes Darth Vader. He's the most interesting Star Wars character.
Okay then, one last question if you don't mind.
Okay.
How do you feel about the huge amount of fans you've been built up here?
I really enjoy being adored by the fans of Star Wars, and I get the feeling that these fans will love me forever. All of the movies I make in future will be widely well received by the fan base. And yeah, sure, I think I will always be remembered as a great visionary movie director and not as a lazy hack.
Lovely. Well, thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure to come on. Are you like on the radio or something?
We're on like these podcasts.
It's an interesting idea.
Yes.
That'll probably pass me by as I just sit in my massive house and don't talk to anyone.
We should have a listen.
Maybe I will.
P and Fran podcast.
It's going to be released in like 30 years, right? 40 years?
Yes.
Okay, I'll probably still be alive.
Okay.
Well, thanks, George. Nice to speak to you. We'll meet in the future. Ooh, spooky.
Well, thanks for having me. Goodbye. Bye.
Wow, it was interesting speaking to George.
I know.
Yeah. He seems a lot more, shall we
Chilled?
say, animated in 1977 than he did when I met him in real life.
Yeah, he seemed very angry in real life.
Yeah, he was, and obviously in the end we ended up fighting because I insulted the Phantom Menace.
Yes.
Whereas here he's, you know...
Which film's that?
Dear God in heaven. I'm not talking to you about Star Wars ever again.
I need to watch them all in order.
No, you don't, because that throws you off, you see.
It doesn't.
You should watch the original trilogy, then the prequels.
I think I should watch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Yes.
7,
Mm-hmm.
8,
Yeah.
9.
9 comes out in December.
Yeah. I should watch it in that order.
Yeah, but then you'll be like, oh, yeah, The Phantom Menace was released first. You'll get all confused.
No. I think I should watch them in order.
Okay. Anyway, so, speaking of something you can keep up with. You went to see Disney's Aladdin
I
this
did.
week. Yes.
It's not just for the faint-hearted.
The faint-hearted?
It's a very action-packed
Is it?
film.
Well,
There's a tiger in it.
there's a tiger. It's directed by Guy Ritchie. It stars Naomi Scott as Princess Jasmine.
Yes, she's very beautiful.
Yes, she is a very beautiful woman. It stars Mina Masoon as Aladdin, Will Smith as the genie,
Yes.
and Marwan Kenzari as Jafar.
Now, he looked familiar, Jafar, in the movie, but
I have never seen Marwan Kenzari in anything.
yeah,
So, what did you think?
I liked it.
Yes.
I thought it was funny. It was like the original Aladdin. There was no like different bits, as in they didn't change anything.
So it's like a proper remake rather than changing the story.
Yeah, so that was good, but I don't know whether it's like the Jungle Book for me. I still prefer the animated version.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Is it as good as the cartoon?
No, I liked it, but I would prefer the animated version. But that's the same with the Jungle Book. I prefer the animated version.
Very well.
I think it's just because their animation when they made it, I don't know, it's just classic.
Was Will Smith as good as Robin Williams?
I would say yes.
Really?
I liked
In
Will
what way?
Smith.
In what way could he possibly be better than Robin Williams?
I don't know, he just provided the same entertainment and the same... He was just as funny as Will Smith for me. I mean, as
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams for me.
I refuse to believe that.
You haven't seen it, have you?
And I never will.
You didn't want to go and watch my gay film?
Because it sucks. Gay. It's just not interested in them. What was your favourite part?
I would say... What's my favourite part? A Whole New
Oh,
World!
God, my ears. So they do the whole new world thing, do they?
On the magic carpet.
All right, and that was your favourite part?
No.
No?
I would say probably when he went into the Cave of Wonders.
All right.
That was quite good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What was good about it?
Went into the cave and met the genie.
Yeah?
It was good. I wouldn't say it was spectacular, but it was good.
Was it as good as Dumbo?
No.
What, really? The live
Yeah.
action remake of Dumbo?
Yeah, I thought Dumbo was better.
Ah, that's interesting. A lot of people are saying different. A lot of people hated Dumbo.
I didn't hate it, but again, it wasn't as good as the cartoon version.
But yeah, Dumbo's a classic. Aladdin, like the cartoon, I liked as a kid.
Yeah.
But I only really liked it for Robin Williams' performance as the genie.
Yeah.
The rest of it, I thought, was a bit crap.
It's a very... it's not the greatest, like, story, is it? It's a bit...
No.
It's a bit boring, let's be honest.
It's not a lot happens.
It's not like The Lion King. And you haven't seen the animated version
I
of The
haven't
Lion
seen
King.
either.
Guess what we're doing later, dear?
Oh, we're not watching The Lion King.
It's lovely, though.
I'll watch it. I'll watch the new one when it comes out.
So, when we do our little bag of wonders...
It's going in the Bag of Wonders.
Yes.
We'll talk about the Bag of Wonders later. Was it as good as Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves?
Obviously not.
Would you recommend Aladdin? And if so, who to?
Not to my dad.
Not to your dad. Yeah.
I would recommend it to children.
Yeah. So is it a good one for the whole family to go to? Yeah. Bit like Dumbo. I mean,
Yeah.
they're Disney movies, aren't they? They are for families.
Yeah, families. I would
And
say
essentially
families.
for children.
Yeah. Although, when I went... What day did I go again?
Wednesday.
Wednesday. It was 5:30 and there were no kids in there. It was all couples.
All right.
And I was on my Todd.
But then we go to a cinema that is more for just adults.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
suppose.
like your multiplex. You
Yeah.
can't get pick and mix in there.
Oh, Can't imagine going to a multiplex now.
Shuddering with horror at the idea of a multiplex.
That's really bad, isn't it?
Not really. I always hated multiplexes. If you can avoid going to a horrible cinema where you can hear the film next door playing through the wall, then do avoid it if you can. So, we also saw Rocketman this week.
We did.
And so I thought it'd be a good idea to hunt down Elton John and have a little word with him about things.
Oh my God, you've got Elton John.
So I invited him round for a crumpet.
Oh, okay.
And he came round.
He came round for crumpets?
We had crumpets and
tea. Is that why all the crumpets
went?
All
the crumpets disappeared. He was the one that drank all the Diet Coke and wine in the fridge.
Yes, I can imagine. He's teetotal.
Damn it. I've been caught out. David Furnish had some.
Oh, but David Furnish is teetotal too, isn't he?
How do you know that?
Well, I just made that.
David Furnish drank all my wine. Okay. So, yeah, here's that interview with Elton. Let's play that now. Well, Elton, thanks for coming in. We're really excited about Rocketman and all the other things you've got going on. So just a few questions. Have you always played the piano with your hands?
Not initially, because I started playing by ear when I was about 3.
I've got here, you once got a really bad case of diarrhea from a brand of cake called Success. How did that come about?
When I got my first slice of Success, all hell let loose, really.
Would you ever try to scare a goose?
Never say boo to a goose.
There's a rumour that the hit ITV police drama The Bill is going to come back to our screens. Are you looking forward to seeing the character of Reg Hollis again?
20 years of Reg is quite enough.
So your Princess Diana tribute, Candle in the Wind, was an amazing success. What did the Duke of Edinburgh have to say to you about it?
And he said, for Christ's sake, don't write any more songs.
Oh, what a rude man. I mean, you're a songwriting machine.
I'm not electrical by any means.
No, I didn't mean like an actual machine. Anyway, you were only briefly at the BBC Proms this year. Do you plan to stay briefly every year?
Land of Hope and Glory, and I'm off.
All right. Well, thanks for coming in, Elton. It's been enlightening. And hopefully we'll speak to you again in the future. Goodbye. Oh.
Whoa.
That was enlightening. I feel like we learnt a lot from Elton there.
Doesn't sound like him, does it?
Oh, well, it is him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's definitely not someone doing a voice.
Okay.
It really isn't.
I know.
It's Elton John. So, we saw Rocketman. It's directed by Dexter Fletcher. It stars Taron Egerton as Elton John.
Yeah.
Stars Richard Madden, who's Robb Stark from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
As his, I've forgotten the character's name. But he plays his evil manager, man. Jamie Bell as his songwriting partner, Bernie. It stars Bryce Dallas Howard, although I cannot remember who she played.
I can't either.
Yeah. It also stars Stephen Graham as his first sort of record executive manager.
Yeah, I like him.
And he was brilliant throughout. Yeah.
He was, wasn't he?
He was a really standout point. So yeah, lots of British talent.
Jamie Bell was in something else, wasn't he?
Jamie Bell's been in loads of stuff. He's
Yeah.
Billy Elliot
That's
initially.
it.
Yeah.
That's where I know him from.
Yeah, he's been in hundreds of films. Well, not hundreds, but lots. Yeah, he's in Snowpiercer.
Is he what?
He's in Snowpiercer.
We should watch that.
We've watched Snowpiercer.
Oh, have we?
the one with Chris Evans on a train.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I really liked and you said was boring.
Oh, where they're all on a train and then they're like trying
to get to the front. Yeah.
And then they realise that it has to be that way. But then he decides not to.
Excellent film criticism there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, so Dexter Fletcher, a really good director. He's done Eddie the Eagle, so he's worked with Taron Egerton before. They obviously make a good team. He's made a musical, Sunshine on Leaf, which we've seen.
I liked.
And I thought was terrible.
You did not like.
And he's in Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels as well. He's Soap in his acting days. So yeah, he's been in the game a long time.
He has.
And yeah, the movie basically just covers Elton John's life from beginning to present day, pretty much.
I didn't realise how much of a bitch his mother was.
She was all right.
But you never know though, because they might make her out to be worse than she is.
Yeah, I mean the film covers all the sort of darker elements of his life to inject a bit of drama into it.
But I like the way they did it, where it looked like the stage, like you said.
Yeah, it's
a musical.
I mean,
movie.
First and foremost, what did you think of the film?
I liked it. Loved it.
Yeah, loved it.
Yeah.
One of your favourite films of the year?
No.
No, that was very much the way I came out of it. It was good. I enjoyed it.
Yep.
Was it amazing? No.
No.
It was fine.
I mean,
yeah.
the films I've seen this year, I would say it's probably not.
No, it's not.
One of my
I wouldn't say
favourites.
it's likely to break into my top 10
No.
of the year. I just think the trouble with making a film about someone who is still alive means that you have to have their permission and they need to be consulted about what goes into it. Elton had a lot to do with the production and getting it made and everything like that. So this is Elton John's account of his own life, basically.
Yeah, but I thought he wasn't there when they were filming.
He didn't come to set because he didn't want to put people off. But yeah, him and David Furnish were the main drive behind getting it made. And,
I didn't realise that.
They've been trying to get it made for years, apparently.
Oh.
And yeah, to me that just...
Well,
I
he's
think you
touring next year, isn't he?
It's his final tour, yeah. Yeah. You're getting Elton John's account, and I
Yeah.
think it comes across very much like Elton never did anything wrong. Elton was great. Everyone around him was terrible.
No, he did sometimes appear as a spoilt child.
Yeah.
Even though he's a fully grown man.
It reminded me a bit of The Disaster Artist, which is obviously was originally a book that was very sort of critical of Tommy Wiseau, who made The Room, but then they made the film of it, and to do that you've got to have a lot of Tommy's permission. Tommy has to see it to make sure he's not been libelled, etc. So they have to kind of make Tommy out to be a better person than he was, whereas in the book he's very much described as a total sort of monster, really, and an absolute nightmare of a human being. Whereas, in the film he comes across a lot better, and I think that this film suffers a bit from that as well. I think it's just, I don't know, it lacked drama for me.
It was good, like, I think all the performances were good, like all the singing and stuff, and the dances were very good. And I liked how they made him go to, like, rehab and tell the story.
Yeah, it's a good framing device.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing fundamentally wrong with it. I felt like it could have been more. And I know, and Elton wanted it made a certain way. I think it would have been better if it hadn't been a musical. If it had been more like Bohemian Rhapsody, maybe it would have been a bit of a better story. I found it a bit too sort of focused on getting into big singing and dancing numbers.
Yeah.
When didn't really need them, because his life story is interesting. He's obviously, he come from sort of nowhere, and he did all sorts of things before he sort of made it big. And he just sort of gets reduced down to him just sort of playing a piano on the stage and things like that. And because of all these big dance numbers and songs, you don't get a lot of time for the other characters in the film. So you don't get to know them very much, sort of. Yeah,
but I think it was more about his music than it was about...
Yeah, I hope someone makes another film about John that focuses more on the actual story of his life rather than sort of making...
But maybe he wanted to keep that private. And
I mean, this is Elton's film. This is Elton telling his story rather than someone else telling Elton's story. And that very much comes across. What was your favourite part?
You go first. I'll have a think.
I'd say it's hard to break down into parts.
It's one big part,
very
really.
one cohesive narrative all the way through. But yeah, I liked, like you mentioned, I liked how it was framed with him in rehab, and the way he comes in, obviously in his stage outfit into the middle of this rehab meeting. And he's sort of slowly removing bits of the outfit as it goes on, as his story gets stripped down. I thought it was an interesting way of framing the film. Yeah. Have you thought of a favourite part yet?
No.
No? Just didn't have a favourite part?
No.
Just liked it as a whole?
I just liked it, yeah.
Yeah. Who's your favourite character in it?
I'm going to say now, controversially, is the bad...
Yeah, Richard Madden's really good.
Yeah, he's really good in it.
He sort of plays a sort of cold and aloof man very well.
But I also liked his old manager, the dad.
Yeah, Stephen Graham's a real stand-up performance in
Yeah.
it. Definitely, he's sort of all over the place, and he's very big sort of personality.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely my favourite character as well. Yeah, Dickie, his character.
Dickie, yeah.
He's Elton's first, the first guy that gave him a record deal. Really good. I'd agree with you on that. Yeah. Taron Egerton's really good as well.
Yeah, he is very good.
So, I mean, I sound sort of very critical of it. It's a good movie. Everyone in it's good. It's well directed. It's just not as good as I think as it could have been.
Yeah, but I think that's why, yeah.
Yeah.
They probably had a lot of caveats they had to.
Yeah, this is what I mean. I think it's got it's the trouble with making a film about someone who's still alive. So, I mean, I think even Bohemian Rhapsody suffered a bit from that, though, because the surviving members of Queen had so much input into the movie.
Sorry about that.
We talked about Taron Egerton. So there's a lot of musical biopics around at the moment. We've had Bohemian Rhapsody, Dirt on Netflix, now Rocketman. What would you like them to do next in terms of music biopics? Who would you like to see a story
they've
of?
already done Tina Turner. They've already done Whitney Houston. Yeah, they have.
Have they? I haven't seen either of those.
Yeah, there's it's a movie about her life.
Right.
But I wouldn't say there's much music in it.
Well, that's probably good.
And then there's obviously The Bodyguard. That's based on...
Is it based on her actual life?
I don't know.
I don't think it is. I think she's
But
just
there is a
in it.
movie about her. I've watched it, but
Right.
I'm not going to lie. I did only watch 45 minutes of it because it was like 2 hours and something long and I got bored halfway through.
So they've done... I would like to see a film about Kurt Cobain. They've done one. They did Montage of Heck, which is a documentary more than an actual film about his life. I'd like to see a dramatic...
Who would
retelling
play
of
him,
Kurt
though?
Cobain. Someone awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then again, like the rest of Nirvana are still alive, and I don't know how much Dave Grohl would want to be involved in something like that.
Yeah.
And Courtney Love, his ex-wife's very protective of Kurt's estate and the way people talk about him.
And his little girl, she's not so little anymore.
No, she's an adult now. Yeah.
But maybe she doesn't want to know.
No, I mean, you don't have to watch the film, do you? A lot of people are still going to be interested in your father. He was a great musician.
Yeah, he was, but maybe he had a lot of background that people don't really want the world to know.
Yeah. I mean, we've had really good... I think we've been spoilt by things like Walk the Line and Bohemian Rhapsody and stuff, you know. When you get a really good sort of music film, and you get something like Rocketman, which is a bit of a overly polished bit of work, I think it just leaves things a little... Yeah, I just wish it had been better. Disappointed.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I was disappointed. I just think I thought it was very good, but not one of my top movies of the year.
Was it as good as Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves?
Hell no!
It definitely is not as good as
I could
Robin
watch
Hood,
that right
Prince of
now.
Thieves. I know you could. you got to watch other things.
I might watch it later when you leave.
You can never watch Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves too many times.
No, I need to finish another series first before I watch.
Would you recommend Rocketman? And if so, who to?
Probably families, like mums and dads who grew up in that era, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, you can't take your kids to it.
No.
It's definitely not rated for children.
Oh, yeah, no.
It's a lot of swearing and sex references and drug taking and things.
Yeah, that sex scene was quite...
It's quite a lot of sexy time going on.
Yeah, it was quite hands to them for doing that. Cause, yeah.
Why not? I'm sure Elton enjoys a good shag.
Yeah, everyone enjoys a good shag.
I would not recommend going to the cinema to see it. It's not worth spending all that money on. I would wait till it's streaming.
I mean, if we didn't have our membership, I probably wouldn't have gone.
I mean, we don't have to splash out on cinema tickets. But, yeah, I would say just wait. It's a good movie. You'll enjoy it. But...
You could probably watch it on your 50-inch and you'd be quite happy.
Oh, easily. Yeah, it doesn't need a big screen to be enjoyed. It is fine, but it's not anything to get excited about. Yeah. Well, that was Rocketman.
Yeah.
And we're coming to the end of the episode. So we've got some interesting things coming up, and we are going into the countryside.
What do I
next
see
week.
there written on that?
Well, I've said our Krampus versus Blair Witch episode is going to be put on hold for a while.
Oh, good.
Because we'll be out of Wi-Fi range next week. Yes. So we're going to be doing a random dive into a bin bag full of DVDs.
Can we not take a bin bag? Because we don't want to put plastic in the world. We can just take a bag and put it in a bag.
Okay. So we'll be doing a dive into a bag of DVDs and drinking heavily.
Think of the environment.
Yes, dear.
Okay, drinking, yes.
Right. And I'll be interviewing Brad Pitt, and we'll be calling Henry Ford on the time phone.
Who's Henry Ford?
He invented the motor car.
Ford, yeah.
Yeah, there'll be another episode of Get Rich or Die Cleaning this week. A huge thanks to all the listeners this week. I've been very surprised at how quickly that's taken off.
And that was all your geniusness.
All of my geniusness.
Yeah.
And the sketch by Robert Mills at the end, don't forget. Not just me.
No.
And yeah, if you'd like to get in touch with us, we are on Twitter. We've now got a specific Twitter handle for the podcast. So that's at Pete and Fran Pod. That's also our contact on Instagram.
Oh.
Yeah, at Pete and Fran Pod. So there you go.
Lovely.
Yeah, and if you want to email anything in, the email address is petelangheltz@gmail. Oh, no, it's not.
No,
it's completely
not.
wrong. It's petelangheltz30. petelangheltz30@gmail.com, and that's Langheltz spelled L-A-N-G.
H-E-L-T.
Yeah, okay. So thanks very much for listening.
Thank you very much. Have a good Sunday, everyone.
Yeah, have a wonderful week. Enjoy Get Rich or Die Cleaning.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time for our dive into a bag of DVDs.
Yeah, we don't want to put any plastic in the environment if we don't have to.
Yes. Okay, thanks for listening then. Bye, 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 bye.
Hello, my name is Scott Cooper. I'm the host of the Millennial Nerds podcast. I get to talk to our community about what we love doing, from the products that we make, to the people behind them, to the opinions, to the streamers, to the gamers, to the YouTubers, whatever you want to call yourself. This is our story, and this is your podcast. Listen to me on iTunes and Spotify, or find me on Facebook at Millennial Nerds.